Week one, what did we do today? We talked about the bridge, just as a basic jiu-jitsu movement, where I'm trying to put all the weight on my shoulder, tap at a 45-degree angle. We're also trying to do the hip escape, which I'm basically becoming weightless with one foot on the mat and rotating my hips. We talked about the break fall and how to fall down. Inversion, just a stretch, and a technical lift. That was just the warm-up. Can I borrow someone for the front body lock takedown? I'm creating a base with my feet. As Mike walks around, I'm going to shuffle, but I never want to break that L that I have with my feet. This is not a jerk, right? This is an L. I go to the haymaker. I'm going to change levels. I'm going to put my ear on the sternum. I'm going to wrap around the kind of hip or iliac crest. And as I step, I'm going to scoop and drive with my head and break that posture. Now I can just drop to the mat, open my hands, hit the mount. In mount, what I'm focused on is squeezing with my knees so that my weight is on the rib cage. I'm not just sitting on my opponent. I'm tucking my feet at the hip, and I'm trying to get as high as I can, at least to the shoulders here, so that if Mike tries to bump or bridge, I can ride that and use my hands for balance. What can I do from here? The Kimura, we talked about 2-on-1 grips. I'm going to use my body weight to put that hand on the mat, and then drop my elbow kind of next to, in that crook of the ear and the neck. In order to not be too heavy on one side, I'm going to extend my opposite leg and just drape my body over my opponent's. I want to make sure that the knuckles are touching the mat. I'm going to take this hand underneath the elbow. I'm going to adjust my weight a little bit more so that I can pull the arm, so I can make this elbow touch the hip if I can. I probably can't. And then whenever it can't go anymore, I'm just going to lift until my opponent taps. It's called a Kimura or Americana. The hip escape, or the escape from mount, is one where, let's say my opponent grabs the back of my head, or gives me an arm somehow, or I bump and I make him post the arm. I'm just going to trap it. I'm going to trap the foot, and I'm going to do one of those bridges that we did at the beginning of class. The opponent can't stop it because they don't have anything to post. If I'm in the middle of that Kimura, so let's scoot over here a little bit. And in order to fight this, my opponent decides he's going to turn over. I'm going to abandon the Kimura grip that I had. I can keep my hand here if I want. This one's going to give me kind of the support that I need to glide my knee back behind the head and put this one here in kind of this technical mount. This hand's going to go underneath the head, and I'm going to grab my own wrist for that seatbelt position. If I can also grab my opponent's arm right here and do this gift wrap. I'm going to fall onto my right hip. I don't want to just go backwards into a roll because he's going to end up on top of me, but I'm going to fall onto my right hip, and then I'm going to roll onto my left one. That will be that second hook here. So, stand up. And then from this position, this is my rear control. I've got the seatbelt. I could have this if I want, but it's not necessary here. I've got my hooks, which are just kind of grabbing the thighs of my opponent. I don't want to cross my feet. And when the time is right, I'm going to take this arm and sink it with the crook of my elbow right at the first box, creating a V and making sure that my elbow is pointing in the same direction as my opponent's chin. Okay? And then I'm going to take this hand, I'm going to grab my own elbow without moving the position that I had before. Hand behind my opponent's head. I'm going to squeeze everything and stick my chest out. Oh, he's already
Sternum blue.
So remember, grab behind the head, squeeze, and stick your chest up to choke. That's it.